All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another video for Fear of the Walking Dead, leading up to the start for Fear of the Walking Dead Season 6. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on the showrunner's comments that Season 6 will be a much darker, a far darker Fear. Okay, and I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check this one out from comicbook.com about Season 6 for Fear. We've got some details about it, so I decided, okay, let's just do it. Why not? Not many more Fear videos. You know, we're going to move over 100% to Walking Dead pretty soon. I think with Season 10 starting to, we're getting the episodes now and everything, so that's going to happen. But of course, next year with Fear, I've decided that I'm going to return with that. Going to continue to do videos for that, reviews and everything. As long as everything goes through okay and all that, all full steam ahead for Fear. Going to continue to do videos for it because I do still enjoy it a lot. It's a good series to have on during the summer. It's got some weaker parts. The second half of Season 5, probably the weakest half season they've maybe ever done for the series. Season 4's second half, Season 5 second half. If you look at half seasons, those two are probably the weakest of the entire show. Maybe you could say Season 5 second half is the weakest of either half for Walking Dead we've ever seen. But it does sound like things are going to change for Season 6 from based on what they're saying here, and it sounds like they might be, I don't know how much feedback they accept from viewers or from fans. Obviously there's been an enormous amount of feedback against Fear with Season 5's second half. People really upset. Not just me, but, you guys, the Forbes reviews, critiques, Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, pretty much anywhere you look, you're going to see that Season 5's second half was very, very low rated, and people were just not happy with it at all. So let's see here. Let's read through what they're saying they're going to do and what they're going to change in Season 6, and let's see if this sounds like it could be cool and it could work, or maybe not. So it says, quote, we're going to follow our characters on a very different journey, a far darker one in Season 6, and that required them to face not just an adversary who views the world in a very contrary to everything our heroes fought for this season, but also to find themselves in positions where their belief in the benevolent world they were fighting for will be challenged at every turn. The showrunners told Deadline, quote, the answer ultimately lies in having Virginia separate everyone, sending them to different corners of her apocalyptic domain. So it sounds like they're going to be very heavily separated up. So not just in Texas, but probably you'd have to look at the map that they showed when they went into the condominium type place with the pool and all that, and see how far apart on the map the different places are, and where they're each going to be going. You could do maybe some predictions on that if you really care, if you really so desire, right? I guess I'm just going to wait to see. I'm not that into it to where I'm going to go to that extent, but it sounds like they're going to be separated up quite a bit. It's not going to be just like one town away. It's going to be, maybe hours away from each other, which is interesting. We've never really, the only time we've seen something like that maybe is when, Negan took Daryl and he brought him with him to the sanctuary, and so he separated him from the others is probably the closest thing. We've never really seen a whole group completely separated up like that. Like Virginia is doing in the original Walking Dead series. So it says, quote, ending the season in such a dark place meant finding the ways to bring the season-long arcs to a close in a way that challenged the growth everyone made this season, they said. Quote, Morgan finally overcame the trauma he's been living with over the loss of his family since the Walking Dead pilot, only to be left for dead with a gunshot wound to his chest and walkers encroaching on him. Alicia finally made peace with the violence she struggled with all season, only to be confronted with someone who wants her to embrace that very violence for unknown ends. Strand finally believes in his capacity to be selfless, only to find himself in a position where he's going to have to embrace his old ways in order to help the people he cares about. June and Dory finally get married, shaking any guilt over their good fortune, only to be torn apart moments later. They continued, Dwight finally stopped blaming himself for the things he had to do to survive under Negan's rule, only to find himself under the thumb of a new despot who may force him to fall back into his old ways. Daniel started to make connections with the larger world, the first since he lost his daughter, but has to watch Charlie, the girl who made that first connection with him, get dragged away. Luciana made a sacrifice so her group wouldn't come under Virginia's control, only to watch that very fate befall everyone she cares about. Grace overcomes her fears of getting close to someone, only to learn that she may have waited too late to share those feelings with Morgan. Okay, all right, fine. Okay. With the altruistic mission halted, at least temporarily, the group will now be forced to adjust to life under rule of Virginia and the far-reaching pioneers. All right, so that's pretty much what they're saying here. So will Morgan go into clear mode if he survives what we saw in the season 5 finale? I think he will. I think that'd be cool to kind of have him go back that way. You could make it, a lot darker. You could make him, not be so benevolent, wanting helping everybody, benevolent, and not wanting to help everybody, and have him actually go after Virginia with clear mode, which could be really cool. We'll probably see Sherry come back, so that'll be good. And, at least it's going to be different, having them in different places with Virginia, even though I find her very cartoony, like another 80s villain, right? Sesame Street, Rodeo Rosie villain. So, we'll see, man. We'll see what they got for season 6 of Fear. I don't know. Yeah, let's see what they got. Let's see if it's going to be darker. Okay, cool. Maybe you have some character deaths this season. You pretty much need to after season 5. If Morgan survives and you had none the whole season, which is okay. I was kind of asking for that anyway. You don't always have to have huge character deaths all the time, but it does help. Stir up some. It helps make the story impactful. It can add a sense of danger to the series of what's going to happen, unpredictability, and keep people on edge that don't know, where things are going to go, who's going to survive, who's not, this kind of thing. So we'll see. So we'll see what kind of dynamic they come up with this season. The only thing that I would worry about, kind of what we saw in season 5, was every time they separated the groups up and they did kind of bottled off episodes with small sections of the groups. In this season, it just didn't quite fit right from what I was seeing, especially in the second half. Like when you saw Near to Me in episodes like this where you had just a few out of everybody. Hopefully in season 6, they don't try to do episodes where they have 2 or 3 of the survivors and it's an entire episode just with that section. And then the next episode is another section. And it's just the 2 or 3 out of everybody. And then the next, I think that what they probably should do, at least my takeaways from the original Walking Dead series and kind of the best flow for episodes and the way things worked out in that show and can also work in this one is when you bottle it off, take 2 groups at least, pretty much every episode. Try not to have, unless you have something really special planned and it's really, really good and it's going to look good and sound good and everything, then maybe you focus everything on just one small group. But otherwise, you probably want to have at least 2 groups in every episode. That's what I would think. That way, if you don't have, let's see, Morgan and maybe Sherry or whoever Morgan's with. So if you don't have him in the episode, then maybe you have, some of your other heavy hitters. So maybe you have John and whoever, maybe you have June and whatever, and then maybe you have Alicia over here with this part. And then, so if you don't have, Wes and Alicia in one episode, then you have Morgan. Or if you don't have Morgan, then you have them. You offset, you have a couple of them so that it kind of flows better than having just a whole episode in one spot, based on one thing. Sort of like in The Walking Dead season 7, where they did the stuff where you had just the Kingdom, or you had just Daryl at the Sanctuary with Easy Street and stuff like that. Try to do at least 2 different. I just think it's better. Anyway, that's the way I would see it. But I am looking forward to season 6 being maybe a darker season. I just hope, man. I really don't want to see another season 5. I really hope that it's better. Right? That's the only thing I'm thinking, man. I hope it's better. Put Morgan in clear mode. Just. I don't know. Hopefully it's better. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going to give season 6 a chance? Does this make you excited all for it to see kind of a darker season? Do you think the dynamic with them being a part of this bigger group with Virginia is kind of interesting? And how do you think Morgan will respond if he survives to what happened at the end of season 5? If you like this video, please thumb it up below, guys. You can share, you can favorite, and subscribe at the bottom left if you're new. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another. It's Trev saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.